Yo, Horikoshi, buddy, we gotta talk about this writing of yours. Before we hop in this review of chapter 318 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 318 of My Hero Academia, known as Dark Cloud. And see, the thing is, I really like this chapter, but at the same time, I'm having the Lady Nagant situation, the Lady Nagant plus Hawk situation all over again. But let's hop right into it. So we open up and we see Endeavor. He's talking facts. He's spitting. So forever ago, we realized that other heroes from other countries are about to come in. They're about to pull up on Japan and they're about to help out. Very good. This plot thread had kind of been gone for a while. But looks like Horikoshi, he was just delaying it for a while. So it makes sense. They're finally coming. Bada bing, bada boom. We're doing good in the room. So the heroes are going to get some help. But the thing is, Midoriya's like, nah, B. Deuces, bro. I don't care that I was blown up. I'm built different. And he proceeds to be built different so gosh darn hard that he's still going to fight, even though it literally looks like he's... I'm not sure. No, those aren't his fingers. That's literally just his costume. Because to be fair, Midoriya is way beyond explosion level. But still, it's great and terrifying to see how much Midoriya can move here. And... see, let me finish summarizing the chapter before I hop into the prompts. So the thing is, some of the people are telling that young boy, Midoriya, to chill out, buddy. Your wounds have not completely healed yet. Now is not the time to push yourself, man. And the thing is, I love how it's like the more caring / tactical people, like the first original opposer to One For All, the first user. Then you have the second user that spent all of his time training and ended up dying. Then you have the smoke user, who's much more of a hide and seek kind of person rather than a direct front on fighter. And then you have Nana, who is like just a maternal figure in general. So I love how it's these four who are like kind of asking Midoriya to be like, whoa, buddy, slow down, rewind, pause, go take care of yourself, because you aren't gonna fight Shigaraki, especially if he's completed, or even just all for one, built like this. Like, you're too damaged to really do anything of worth, so calm down, slow down. And Midoriya's like, the thing is, Midoriya doesn't even respond to them, though. That's the weird thing. I know he can hear them, because he's literally talked to them before. So, I don't know why he doesn't at least say something. Like, he should say no. But I guess he's like, maybe he was about to say something, because we see his danger sense pops off. And I love how guilty the... This is wild to say, but I love how guilty the user who gave him danger sense was. Like, you can see the look on his face. He's just like, I've created a monster. And he really has. But to be fair, it's something that Midoriya, I guess now that he's activated it, can't turn off. This very much seems like a passive quirk. But the interesting thing is, I guess it actually, never mind, that makes sense. It comes with the power amplification of One For All. Because when you look at it, he's sensing something, and then he leaps off in a general direction, like way super far away, for no real reason. And I guess it's just because due to, yeah, this is even mentioned before with Muscular, like his danger sense is extremely wide range, so I guess it would work like that. And the thing is, we get to see that in the vault of One For All, where we have all the different users, two things of note. One, there's a safe here. Was this door always here and I'm just not remembering it? I wonder what that is. Is that like the vault to the powers or something? I thought they gave him the powers, like them being in here. Or is that like the gate? Is that, yo, is All For One gonna pop up next time he tries to steal and be like, hey everyone, I'm here now? Is he gonna open up the gate like that? I don't know. All For One's been such a goofy menace that I'm honestly super excited to see him try to steal One For All again. But the thing is, we get to see everyone feeling a bit guilty. Even Danjo? Wait, is it Danjo? Hold on, let me not embarrass myself. Daigoro Banjo. I like combined his first and last name, my fault. But we get to see like they're all talking about it. And the thing is, Nana blames herself. She says, my emotions are affecting him too heavily. But then Danjo, I keep saying Danjo. Banjo's like, nah, bro, it's all the same. And the thing is, I love how I think it's the fourth user. He's like, there's literally nothing we can do. We're literally just powers to him. Like, he's going to use us and listen to us about the powers. Like, that's really it. We aren't real people to him. We're dead people sitting in his mind. And I love how he's the one who says superheroes help those who are in need, because the All Might Visions that is sitting there still can't talk, because All Might's still alive for now. So it's kind of crazy to see how like they're sort of accepting that they can't really influence Midoriya. And the thing is, the second user, I do believe, is the one who's like, nah, B, go ahead and destroy yourself. I feel like that's the only one that Midoriya may be listening to, but that's only because his views align with Midoriya's. Like, he he is 100% living up to the idea of one for all. As the second user says, that's what it means to wield one for all and carry on our wills. But the thing is, like, didn't y'all have a whole conversation about how one for all isn't, I mean, Midoriya is technically being a hero and saving people specifically. He's not using it. But the way that this is worded is like, carry on our wills. Y'all wills was to murder All For One, which I fully side with y'all on. All For One is a menace. And as much as I like him, he's got to go. But now you all did side with this man. Like, you straight up said, oh no, maybe we shouldn't kill him. So he's not really carrying on y'all wills. He's just using y'all, which is cool. I like that. I like the implications from Midoriya's character that he really doesn't care about what these people have to say, because they aren't really people. They're like power given form and thought left as remnants in his body. But even still, it's kind of strange to see the carry on of wills thing. Maybe that'll be a different thing in the official translation. I'll read the official translation and see. Maybe that's just something that's throwing me off. But the thing is that catches my eye here is that they're like, yo, we could do something to protect, whoa, my English. We could do something to protect Izuku Midoriya. And the thing is, what? Y'all dead, bruh. Like, can y'all, like, interface with other quirks? Is that what's gonna happen? Because I don't see a way that y'all can protect this man. Like, y'all are the definition of dead people. Y'all aren't even people. Y'all are literally remnants left with side. Oh my, where's my English today? Left inside one for all. What are y'all gonna do that's really gonna be effective in protecting this man? Like, are you gonna, like, take away your quirks so he has to calm down and take a nap? Like, is that what you're gonna do? I don't know. This seems very interesting. And honestly, see, I love the visuals of Black Whip. I love how this has, due to the fact that it's the second quirk that Midoriya awakened, and technically the first quirk, since the initial quirk was just power amplification, he's sort of wielding it just as, like, an active thing. Like, it's sort of become part of his full cowling. Like, you can see how it moves. It's almost like spider legs spawning off of him. He's like an 8-legged monster, and I love it. So to see him wield around and instantly, yo, he hops in a mall and washes all these villains. Like, they get off-screen. Well, not necessarily off-screen. They more so run at the sight of Midoriya. And what I love here, see, that's the thing. I love this chapter because it shows how scared people are of Midoriya, because he doesn't look like your traditional hero, and the fact that he has multiple quirks. Like, he's, with the lack of flow of information, he is literally a living, breathing enigma, a monster that's just wandering around the world. Sure, he's protecting people, but there's like no lines of communication anymore. There's very little they can do. Sure, the media still exists, but look at the people here. They aren't really worried about the media saying. They just see some dude pop up looking like a beast, acting like a beast, scaring awesome beast, and they're afraid. And to be fair, if someone like Midoriya, even this man only is like, I think he's like 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", hold on, let me not embarrass myself again. Broski is 5'5" according to the wiki. I'm assuming he grew a bit, so let's say he's 5'8". Even still, if this dude popped up in front of me looking like he did now, I don't care if he just saved my behind. I'm not even saying anything to him. Like, that lady is brave enough to say, multiple quirks? All For One's subordinate. And Heku goes like, no, of course not. And they're like, oh, thank the Lord, we're gone. I wouldn't have even said anything. The moment Midoriya went to face down them villains, I would have been booking it out of there. Yo, you got me whoop de whoop de goo. I'm not fighting that. Well, not fighting that. I'm not even looking at that. But the thing is, this sort of brings up the fact that we're in a no narrative spot right now. I'm going to go more in depth on that, but right now, there is no plot. We are chasing down All For One. But the thing is, we're chasing down nothing. We're chasing down air, buddy. Like, there's nothing going on right now, which is why I was hoping for, like, a little bit more. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But the thing is, we get to see that Midoriya is sort of, like, falling to despair. Not really despair, but he is so deep in his own head. And he's literally not even talking to he's so deep in his own head that he's not even talking to the people that live in his head. That's how down atrocious Midoriya is right now. And you can see how he's like occupied with so many things. He's like, I gotta stop Shigaraki, I gotta stop the leak, I gotta stop All For One, I gotta do everything, I gotta master All For One, not master All For One, that'd be hilarious, but I need to master One For All. I need to do this so people won't have to live in fear anymore. I will help everyone, I will save everyone. I'm a different level, I'm the next evolution of humanity. And to be fair, he really is. And what is he eating in that panel? I really can't tell. He is eating something though. Man got a whole chocolate bar. But thing is, we get to see him flashing to all these different locations as he's fighting and defending people, and he's fighting multiple people. And to be fair, this is, even if these people are fodder, which they are very likely to Midoriya, this is still impressive. This man is rolling around at the speed of sound. He got places to go, and he's following his rainbow. He can stick around. He's got to keep moving on because he's remembering all his friends, and he's no need to, I'm so sorry for that. But the thing is, he's going around and he's remembering all the people he cares for. I love, this is special to me. Like, I love how his mom is the first person to pop up. I don't know why Gran Torino's ugly behind pops up. Forget Gran Torino. He needs to go. He needs to, like, get him out of here. But All Might pops up. That makes sense. Aizawa pops up. That Eri. That's what got me. Like, whole tears rolled down my face when I saw it. Because the thing is, like, I don't like Eri as a plot device. That's the thing. If we could remove her quirk from the series, I would love Eri. Because, gosh darn it, I've read too much fan media and read too many fan comics of Midoriya or even just Class 1A in general taking care of Eri, and I need that. I need that content in my life. I love it. But the thing is, just the plot device part of her is not what I'm happy about. But even still, I'm glad that she's on his mind. Everyone is on his mind. You can see with how he flashes back to, like, the whole gang. Every single member of Class 1A. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All 19 members of his squad. He's so ready to defeat them all, to get his job done so he can smile with them again. And yeah, that's nice. I'm glad. He's still there. The thing is, I'll talk about it in a bit. I keep delaying it because I don't want to get too in-depth with it. But then we get to see reckless, born of impatience, wishing for solitude on the brink of exhaustion. Exactly what he predicted. Numbers are justice. Why do I keep, like, including my own little voice actor tapes in these? I have no idea why I do this. But the thing is, Midoriya runs into this group of people being controlled by the dictator. And golly, this dude's built ugly. Like, straight up. And the thing is, we get a mention of Crust here, which is interesting. And I don't know why. Like, Crust was a hero. I feel like that was his death was supposed to be more impactful. But I don't know. I once again am confused on what he even looked like. And I'm not going to stop to look him up because I doubt he's not going to be mentioned. Well, to be fair, I didn't think he was going to be mentioned again anyway. But to be fair, Dictator pops up and he's like, yes, you know the... Sorry, I don't know why my brain lagged there. He's like, yes, you want to know about the whereabouts of One for All, huh? I mean, All for One, right? Too bad. Fight against all of these people. And the thing is, this is different compared to everyone else Midoriya's been fighting, because these people are about to, like, stab and beat my boy to death with all these support weapons completely out of their own free will. Like, these aren't villains. Like, Midoriya does still have that disconnect, which I'm glad he has, of, like, if it's a villain, he's going to, like, give you 15 conditions. He's gonna Spider-Man you. He's gonna Spider-Man / Batman / every superhero ever you. He's literally going to break every single bone in your body and not feel bad about it. But these are people. So he can't break every single bone in their body and not feel bad about it. And the thing is, he's so tired. I love it because this is like the most, once again, this is the most human we've ever seen Midoriya. Like, to be fair, this is his most superhuman. See, Horikoshi, you're a beautiful fighter, dog. Because this is the most human we've seen Midoriya, while he's arguably the most superhuman he's ever been. He's literally fighting through explosions, wounds, pain, activating new powers on top of new powers. He's doing so many crazy things. At this time, he's the most tired. He's the most empty. He's the most driven by, like, he's driven by sheer will at this point. This is not Midoriya really fighting to... it's weird to say, this is barely Midoriya anymore. I think that's great. I love that. But the thing is, he is noting, like, this is Midoriya still being like that tactical beast that I'm enjoying. He's noting that, the dictator, like, is really playing your boy right now, because he knows I really ain't about to cause multiple concussions to all these innocents. And he's letting himself get torn apart. And I guess, like, this is definitely fatigue Midoriya kicking in, because he says, oh, I don't have my Air Force gloves with me. I guess I'll die. As if he can't just jump into the air. Like, the dictator doesn't have a dude floating above him or something like that. The dictator is literally directly in the middle of a crowd. Like, all he has to do is do what Bakugo did at the end of this chapter. Leap into the air, jump down, and throw yourself directly at the dictator. You literally know how to redirect yourself in midair without Air Force. You did that not, like, 2 chapters ago. So I mean, maybe he's worried about Fajin having too much recoil and impact to, like, maybe harm the people around Dictator, but you don't even have to leap in with that much force. Literally just jump into the air and then flick yourself back down. I don't know. Just, whatever. And the thing is, he talks about mastering One for All, and if you can move at a pseudo 100% without any drawbacks, I feel like Air Force shouldn't be locked off. But this is definitely just, like, a character thing where Midoriya is so tired. He's so, like, he's basically given up. Like, he's activating purely on autopilot, and you can see it with how, like, he just lets the people swarm him and tear into him. I know they're all in control, but this is definitely, like, a good allegory for society and, like, the world and how it's tearing into Midoriya himself and sort of destroying him. I like how his hand hasn't it like barely looks like a human hand anymore due to the wrecked nature of the gloves he was wearing. Like it's literally like claws reaching out, clawing, trying to reach for salvation, something like that. And then Bakugo comes out the clutch, curses at somebody, smacks the boy with an AP shot, and bada bing, bada boom, the dictator's taken out. And we end the chapter with a quick, I found him, guys. And there we go. That's the chapter. And thing is, I really like this chapter on a surface level. Like straight up reading the chapter, point A to point B. This doesn't even have a dumb intro like the last one. So this is once again like the raw definition of a sort of peak fiction. Like I really enjoy this chapter on a face value in terms of like what it's showing about Midoriya, how his mindset has been affected, and how he is literally moving forward. It adds intrigue with the idea that more heroes are coming from other nations and are coming to help out Japan and what we're going to do. And the One For All users add more intrigue, because despite me having zero idea how they're going to help out Midoriya, they're saying they're going to. So there's a whole ton of intrigue there. And then you also have the fact that Midoriya is just showing off again and again and again, and he's becoming more and more monstrous. And that's all great. We get to see Midoriya's mindset, a peek into his head. We get to see glimpses into Midoriya's humanity and how no matter how much of a monster he looks like on the outside, he's still the same Midoriya on the inside who still wants the exact same thing that he was so lucky to have. Oh, and I'm flipping through the pages again. And I love how Midoriya collapses. Oh my, wow, that's beautiful. I didn't even notice that. This chapter is amazing. I need to change that intro. Like, see, I know this. Ah, man. The thing is, I love this chapter. Thing is, though, I wish we could have got to see Midoriya all-mighting it a little bit longer. Like, the thing is, this doesn't exactly, like, end the Midoriya alone arc. But to be fair, we had the Midoriya alone arc for an entire one chapter. I would have loved to see Midoriya, like, show... This is weird to say, because, like, his humanity more so comes on, like, the physical side rather than the mental side, because like we got a little bit of like that, how a person will react to someone like Overhaul after all Overhaul did. We got a bit of that a few chapters ago when he asked Overhaul how he felt about Eri. That was the definition of Midoriya looking for something from Overhaul, and Overhaul telling him exactly what he thought. And we got to see Midoriya get a little bit angry, a little bit annoyed. But I would have loved to see like Midoriya go through the different stages of like falling out. Like he's still a hero, but we get to see him get slightly more violent with villains. Like he's getting angry. Like the thing is, Midoriya's had bursts of anger in the past. Those are the things that catch me the most. Like they're off guard when they have them in the past. Like the main two things I can think of are the War arc and the Overhaul arc. We've seen Midoriya get viciously angry, and the reason I'm like torn on those moments is because they don't happen consistently enough, and they're not addressed often enough for me to really be like, oh, that was just a cool rage moment. Like there's nothing, Midoriya's character is rarely contextualized his more human reactions to things, so whenever that happens, it doesn't feel all too justified. And I would have preferred to have seen something like this then, like say a villain, one of the assassins that Midoriya is supposed to be going after, say they have a hostage, and they're yelling at Midoriya and telling him, look at this failure you've done. Look at all the people I've captured. You know how many people I've killed while you've been so slow? How many people I've gotten to do things to? I'm superior. You're such a weak hero, you failure. And then we just got to see like Midoriya snap, like pure raw anger. Like legit, the anger he used when he reeled back with his fist and slammed Overhaul with infinite 100% One For All. That kind of anger. And then we get to see the civilian who he saved react to that. And like, they look at Midoriya, and it's, the thing is, I want that anger to be addressed. That's the thing, I'm talking in hypotheticals, because I don't think it's going to happen at this point. Just like with the Lady Nagant and Hawk stuff. I firmly believe that Horikoshi has like this weird sort of, his writing is normally fast-paced, but he picks the most random times to slow down. The most glaring time I can think of it is obviously, you know, I had issues with the school arcs, but not just the school arcs in general. The main issue I had was especially with the 1A versus 1B training arc. I feel like that arc slowed down the pace so heavily for no real reason, when there was really plot stuff going on. Like that was the lead up to My Villain Academia. Like there was a stuff that was happening. Like we went from pro hero arc to 1A versus 1B, then back to real life stuff. So Horikoshi, I know you have the capacity to slow down and do things and show us stuff, and especially when we're in a non-plot world like we are right now. Because to be fair, hunting down All For One is not a plot. It isn't. We have no idea where he is. There's no information. And, you know, I guess hunting down the dictators would be, not the dictators, whoa, hunting down the assassins would be the best way to get information on where All For One is. But the thing is, that is a plot that can be put on hold for a little bit. Show us how Midoriya is dealing with it. Show us how Midoriya all-mights, because this is essentially what Midoriya is doing. He's all-mighting right now. He's being the one true hero, going around and doing everything. So getting one chapter of it is nice. But I wish we could have seen more layers to it, how deep he's willing to go. Especially since we get the "you're next" line in this chapter again too, and we get to see not just All For One pointing at Midoriya, but also All Might. It would have been cool to see him slowly, like, go through more stages, go through more anger, go through more grief. And you could even, like, have him flashing back to certain character moments, or having him flash back to certain characters as he's doing this. Like, the angrier he gets, he flashes back to characters who reminded him of that anger. The happiness he starts to feel when he starts to think of his friends, you can just have that. The same scene you had in this chapter. Like, there's little things in this arc where I'm like, due to the fact that we're sort of lacking along the lines of an actual cohesive narrative right now, that has a significant through line, like, we can see an end goal. Like, the end goal obviously is catching All For One and defeating him before he can achieve his full power. But the thing is, we have no clear through line to that end goal. So this seems like a perfect time to allow Midoriya to be a bit more free, have some more liberties with Midoriya's character, so on and so forth. I'm not saying I want like a 50 chapter arc about that, but like one chapter to each emotion or something like that, or maybe just 2 chapters, something, just a little bit more, a little bit extra taste. Because now that Bakugo showed up, unless Midoriya just straight up ignores him, like, he goes back to it. But the thing is, Midoriya's collapsed. Midoriya's, like, he's run out of energy, essentially. So I feel like we're gonna return back to a more UA-centric focus. And while I am excited to see, like, the UA kids again, I know I didn't really mention that. Like, Bakugo's here, and he's on the phone with a bunch of people. So he's obviously, like, out there with his fellow friends looking for Midoriya and stuff like that. But the thing is, now that we're back to this, I feel like we aren't gonna leave it for a while. And we just now, just last chapter, got a Midoriya who is freed from the shackles of, like, the humanity around him. He literally abandoned All Might last chapter. So to see him just go right, well, not go right back. We had this entire chapter, which I think is great, and he is thinking about his friends this chapter, which is fine. But to see him instantly go back to it, like, I feel like you could have done a bit more, Horikoshi. That's not something I can dock the chapter for. So in terms of sheer chapter itself, I still say this is a 10 out of 10 chapter because I love the level. Here's the thing. I would have loved to see more of Midoriya's humanity, but I will take what I will get in the context of how Horikoshi usually writes things. The slower pace of Horikoshi is admittedly a rarity. We haven't gotten that for a while. We haven't had a school arc for a minute. That's essentially the slower pace. That's where a lot of the slower pace stuff for Horikoshi comes from. So I'm accepting of this because at least we got something. We didn't instantly Midoriya didn't instantly leave All Might and then find Bakugo the very next opening page. So I'm fine with that. We got something, which is good. For the hypothetical stuff of the students coming through, that's cool to me too. I'm not necessarily indifferent. I think this is very exciting to see Bakugo pull up and have the gang ready, and like they're all looking for him. Like, they're showing that they care for Midoriya too, and that he like has a family and a friend to call. Well, not a family and a friend, but he has family and friends that he can call a home. People that actually care about him and are willing to sacrifice their lives for him. And I think that's great. I'm glad he has this now, especially considering how lonely he was for all these years. So I'm glad that he's getting the help he needs, and I'm glad he's probably going to get some rest. He's probably going to talk to Bakugo. And I feel like Bakugo is the perfect character to find him. One, because not only he's supposed to be the rival to Midoriya, even though we know Midoriya's going to wash Bakugo if need be, but two, for the fact that Midoriya is likely the only one, Bakugo is likely the only one who can tell Midoriya to stop, to sit down, and to take a breath, take a breather, take a break. He's the only one in my mind that's capable of making Midoriya stop and having him stop, because you could have Uraraka show up here, you could have Ida show up here, you could really substitute anyone in Class 1A for this. But the thing is, Bakugo is the only one with a strong enough personality, a strong enough connection to Midoriya that will allow him to sort of wake Midoriya up from this heroic daze that he's in. I think that's great that Bakugo shows up. I hope that Stain pops up. This is like a thing that was hinted at last chapter, but obviously Midoriya's moving around way too much for Stain to reasonably keep up. He is a regular superhuman, he's not Midoriya superhuman, so maybe we won't get Stain for a while. But Horikoshi, why'd you have to tease us like that, bro? I was so hyped to see Stain this chapter. But regardless of that, that's my thoughts on the chapter. I think this is still a super solid chapter. Art in this chapter is very, very beautiful. I love how Horikoshi, this man's like when I say he's a menace on the artistic level, like you can tell, like when I drew the image for this review before I recorded the review. So I do notice things whenever I'm reading chapters and taking a look at things. You can tell how Horikoshi specifically went with like a looser, shakier hand style. Like Horikoshi is a very solid line artist, and you can see that in a lot of the regular images. Like in all Midoriya's memories, the line art is very sharp, it's very clear, it's very defined. But the thing that I had a hard time mimicking when I ended up trying to do a drawing from this chapter, and the thing I noticed in general with Midoriya around him, is that he's very scratchy, he's very loose, he's very crooked, and like he's a lot of jagged lines. He's not as clean as the rest because of how dirty he's been through going through all the suffering that he's been going through. And I think that's great visual storytelling. My man Horikoshi is a top tier beast when it comes to visual storytelling because of that beautiful artwork of his. Man's amazing. Man's obviously a master of the craft, and he's only gonna get better. I can definitely tell. The backgrounds in this chapter was never caught lacking. I'm not sure how many pages it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was even if it wasn't full pages, it felt like a fully length chapter, so I'm gonna give it that. And 2, the backgrounds in this chapter, from the buildings he had to draw to the different people he had to draw, amazing. Horikoshi, an amazing artist, fantastic, beautiful. This is a 10 out of 10 chapter. I need to go change that intro. I'm not gonna change the intro. I'll see what happens. So thank you so much for watching. Please tell me your own thoughts on this chapter in the comment section down below. Are y'all rock with me? I know a lot of y'all are like, I don't want to distract from the plot. That's something y'all don't want to do. You do not want to leave the plot. But considering the fact that there was no plot, I feel like this was the best time to distract from the plot and let Midoriya just go out and show a bit more of his own individual uniqueness and humanity. But that may just be me. Please tell me what you think in the comment sections down below. I love to hear you guys' thoughts. Now, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.